Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Chess and welcome back to something. Welcome back to podcast, I guess, discussion 1 year 365 podcast. I want to say that. But yeah, this is day 159. Oh, day 159 out of 365, I guess. And this will be uploaded in November, right? Yeah, it's been already November and I guess it's already raining or rainy season when this video is out. Even when this video I made this video, it's already been showing a little bit of a transition. Like it's probably already a rainy season as well. I At this point I don't really know what's the time anymore. Like when is dry season, when is rainy season, when it starts, when it ends, when it starts, when it ends. I just don't know anymore at this point. It's shifted every now and then. There is not really exact time for that. I guess. But yeah, um, I guess because of that, I just want to deliver like my I guess like plans update. I would say because if you haven't known about me, I actually already talk about a lots of plans that I grow myself, and I also bought from the what is it again, like the greenhouse, and then brought it home um, and grow it myself, right? So yeah, I guess let's start first. The first will be the my chili plant and my tomato plant, right? So the chili plant is still going. It's not really um, the chili plant is still growing. However, it doesn't really produce anything because it was kind of diseased as well. Like there is this I don't know, like there is this moldy like white cotton or something like that under below the leaves, right under the leaf basically. Like the leaf, and then if you look under that there's this white mold that's there, right? And then this mold then got eaten by ants as well, and it's just that bad, right? But it's still alive. I still water it almost every day, not really every day but more like almost every other day, like every 2 days basically. And yeah, I'm not really producing any chilies. Not sure why. Maybe it's because it's diseased, therefore it's not producing anything, right? It used the energy to recover itself probably, right? I don't know how plants work, but yeah. Now the tomato plants, unfortunately, it suffered the most from the disease. And I know this sounds very bad, right? But I just decided that I just don't want this plant to get any more pain or any more suffering. Then I just cut the entire thing, right? I cut the main stem, and yeah, I killed the tomato plant purposely, and then I pull out the remaining, like the root ball basically, put out from the pot. And yeah, and just leave the stem to dry out by itself, right? Like the cut plants basically to just dry out by itself. And yeah, it took about like 2 weeks, and it finally dried out. And I just throw it away, I guess. But yeah, it's the same. It's because of roly polies, if I remember correctly, what it's called. Like the small bugs, basically, like the plant bugs, right? It's just growing, in the stem, in the leaf as well, in the fruit as well. The tomato plants actually producing fruit, producing actual tomato. Um, there's like flowers, right? And then the next month there's like small fruit, right? Small green balls, right? There's a lot of them. And however, you know it's not really growing, and it's not really getting bigger because of that. And like basically one day it got a lot of mold, I would say, like because of this roly poly, right? They created like some kind of cotton. I don't know what it's called again, like a cotton, right? Basically, maybe it's like their nest to uh, produce, like to reproduce, probably to create more small roly polies, right? And this is just very invasive and um, I sprayed a lot of insecticide, pesticides, and stuff like that into the stem, into the root, into the soil as well, and the leaves specifically, as well as the actual tomato, right? Like the small tomato, and I just sprayed those, but they just keep coming. And one day I look at the plant and it's just covered in lots of white cotton, right? And then I said, yeah, I think this is it. I guess this is it. I don't want to see the plant to suffer anymore. Then I grab my scissors and I just cut the stem, right? I just cut the main stem and then took out the bottom part with the root, and then these whole plants over here, I just let it dry, like just leave it down, I guess. Um, it takes about 2 weeks, I would say, to completely dry out the whole thing. But yeah, there you go. I guess I'm plant killer, but then again, I do it for the best of it, right? Like, think of it like if you have a dog and then your dog got diagnosed by like a tumor or something like that. Like there is a growing ball of tumor inside it, right? Then you know, I guess the best decision at that point is that you just not really give up, but more like it's better to end the suffering, right? You don't want your pets to suffer more, right? So yeah, there's that, I guess. And then the tomato itself, it's not really big, right? It's just very small, and it got dried as well. Like it explodes for some reason. Um, the tomato kind of erupted, like exploded, and it then it rots, right? Because the inner part got exposed to the air, and therefore it oxidized and yeah, rotten. Basically, it got rotten. It rot over time, and yeah, and I just yeah, just I look at it and yeah, this is it. I guess this is the end of it. There's no cure for this, at least not at the moment, right? Because I don't have money to purchase like a bigger, I guess, like a better soil, better pot, better insecticide, probably. Like I just use just use the lower dose, I would say. There is actually a powerful one, but it's quite expensive, right? And then like a better, I guess, like what is it called again? What is it called? I kind of forgot, right? Fertilizer, basically, right? And yeah, don't have the money for that as well, and it gets a little bit costly just to grow one plant. Therefore I just decided, I guess, yeah, I guess this is it, right? And yeah, I gave up on the tomato, but the chili is still there. It's not producing, but it's not really, I mean, it still got severed by the mold, right? But I guess this one is still not as severe. It is bad, but it's not as severe, and the plant actually is still producing chilies every now and then, like once every month or so, right? It means that it's still working, it's still living. So I will just let that sit for a while. Um, and then the next one, which is this is actually the great one. I also did mention that I grow what is it called again? Like um what is it called again? Like this one, pitcher plant, basically. Like yeah, like this kind of like plants. Basically, this is the leaf, and then this is like the pitcher, right? And this one actually quite well. I kind of want to show you about this. Maybe in the later video. I don't know, like I don't know, like maybe when this video is up, probably I already showed you that, but I doubt it, because I don't just randomly show you about my plans in itself, right? Maybe if I want to do that, it will be in this kind of podcast thing, right? So maybe I will do this in the future, like few days from now or a few weeks from now, but be aware that when I do that few days from now, it means it's already happened like 2 months ago, right? 1.5 months ago, basically. So, when you see that the video got released, chances are, the plants already growing even more, right? And I actually love this one, love this one, like the picture plant, because it actually got quite big. The biggest one, I think, it's almost at the size of my hand, the palm of my hand, basically. Like I can grab the entire thing on my hand, and it's actually quite big. I was also surprised because like 2 months ago, it's like 1 month ago, it's still small, right? And then because it is placed like at the other side of the pot, and I look at the pot from one direction, and the actual thing, this is at the back side, then it means it got covered, right? I cannot see it. And I went, like just this morning I checked this, and I was kind of surprised that it's actually that big already. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, like I have four, right? And the four actually are doing great. Like one of them, which is this plant, which is great, and then the other one, which is the fine one, um, bitter plant that grows like vines. Basically, it keeps going up like vines. That's also doing great. There's now at this point I'm recording, there is five bitter, and there is also one more that is small, and then another one that is still baby, basically like baby leaf. And yeah, and this will also grow into that. So I guess technically I have seven bitter now in one plant, which is always great. I plan to actually maybe focus on this one. I will, maybe buy a little bit bigger pots so that it can hold, like bigger plants, right? Basically. So yeah, maybe I will do that. I don't know, maybe this October, when this video is out, I probably already got that. Yeah, either October or November, basically, which is the next 2 weeks of this video made, right? At the time I'm recording this, it's like 2 weeks later. So yeah. Um, and then not really 2 weeks, but more like a week or so. So yeah, um, I love this. And then there's another one that is, I would say, a smaller version of this fine one. This is actually big. The fine one's actually big. It reaches like 50 centimeters, I would say, already. Like half a meter. 50 centimeter is about 2 feet. Yeah, like 2 feet, almost 2 feet. So yeah, I can see this actually growing into a bigger one. And there's also a smaller version which is quite smaller. I don't know why. Maybe it's like the type of the pitcher plant itself, like the species maybe, that it doesn't actually grow big probably. And then there's another one which is also small, but it's different type of pitcher. It's actually like small, really small pitcher. So yeah, there you go. So basically two bigger one and then two small, right? Two small ones. Yeah, I probably also should notify the nursery or the greenhouse where I bought this from, because apparently, like it's always, it's always a relieving news, right, for the greenhouse owner as well, that we actually took care of their plants, and we bought it and we actually took care of it, and it grow into bigger plants, right? I believe like everyone who owns greenhouse will feel happy, right, that their trusted plants, got given into the customer, and then the customer actually grow this, right? So I guess, yeah, I should have actually notified her. She is also quite nice lady, like nice woman as well. Yeah, like she always posted about this in her Instagram as well, right? So yeah, maybe like one day I will like mention you what the Instagram as well, but in the future, right? When this grows even more bigger, right? And yeah, the smaller one, I'm not sure if it's the actual species that doesn't, allow them to grow into big, or they're just maybe again, like maybe they're diseased. But I don't think so, because I don't really see any mold or any, like roly polies and stuff like that, because they are water based, right? So there's not really a soil based pest there. So there you go, maybe that's why there's not really anything, it's not moldy, there's no cotton at all, there's no, yeah, it's completely healthy basically. So yeah, there you go. I guess that's from the my picture plants. There's also another one as well that I haven't actually mentioned. I also own like a smaller cactus, but unfortunately it died like long time ago, like back in April, May, I would say, like um, when this video is out, it's like 6 months ago, basically, almost, right? And yeah, so there's that. There's also another one that I did as well, which is for the what is it called, hydroponic as well. So this one is, you growing plants based on water only, right? It's almost the same as my pitcher plants, but this is more like generic uh, plants, right? Like you can grow any other greeneries out of this, right? Using the flow of water, but this one also failed because again, like I don't really have the machine to run over the water, right? So I just use the water there, like in a bucket, and I just put it over there, right? So the water doesn't actually flow, and it always stays there, and the plant's not really growing big, right? So I also discarded those as well, and yeah, that's about it, I guess. There is also a big tree, like a mango tree in front of the house, and it is not really doing great this year as well because like the climate is a little bit weird, right? Like we had rain during summer as well, and therefore the flower, I guess, the flower that will be the mango, they got washed away by the rainwater, right? So the amount of mango we harvested this year actually like uh, less than 50% of the previous year, which is a lot of them basically. Like it, like for a month, like 2 months, actually, we constantly ate mangoes, and yeah, it's just that much, right? And for this one, not even 1 month, honestly, like only for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and that's about it. Although, like in the trees, they're still growing, but it's not as much, and it's not ripe. It's not ripe yet. So there you go. What else plants that I have? And there's also other like decoration plants, I guess, like outside. The one that is resilient and resistant, I guess, to all sort of pest and disease because their leaves are not really edible, right? Because it's just for decoration. Therefore, I guess the pests are not really eating the leaves, and therefore that's why the plants actually um, like survive longer, right? Without like in wild, right? Because it's in front of the house as well. And yeah, I guess that's all of my plans that I have. Next one, we'll actually talk about how hydroponic is actually very difficult. And yeah, we'll actually learn about hydroponic in the next video as well because I did hydroponic at the start of this year, but it failed, right? And I will say why it failed for me anyway, and how it is actually difficult, more difficult than it seemed, right? And more expensive as well, I would say. But yeah, but that will be for tomorrow's discussion. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been another discussion, more like plants update, I guess, or garden updates. I killed my tomato plants, and yeah, that's about it, I guess. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow with another discussion. Stay safe, stay healthy. I will see you very soon, and see ya.